Welcome to the heart of Season 9 Matsuri. We're lighting up the battlefield with the best picks to pull out this Season 9 of Eternal Return. What's poppin' everyone, it's Levi, and these are the notable characters to pull out to climb the rank ladder this season. Leading the parade for the mage role is the vibrant, versatile artist, Tia. She's the perfect entry point for anyone wanting to paint the town and the enemy in a whole lot of damage. If you want a character that sits somewhere between dealing burst damage and a consistent artillery mage, Tia is for you. While she doesn't fully master either one, her unique color mixing mechanic means she can slot into virtually any team comp, always bringing some utility to the celebration. For her micro, you have to be intentional. Think of her W ability as the control panel for your kit. Using the right color mix in the right situation is key. Her macro is classic backline mage. Tia does not like people getting on top of her. Keep your distance, prioritize your positioning, and aim for multiple spell rotations in every major team fight. The greatest prize that Tia can offer is a maximum versatility with a low entry floor. Because her kit does a little bit of everything, her strength is directly tied to the skill of the pilot. A good Tia player can maximize her potential and turn her into whatever her team needs. She has a low mechanical entry floor, meaning new players can quickly get the hang of her abilities and feel impactful without needing hundreds of games. While she slots into every team comp, she falls into the jack of all trades, master of none category. If your team is relying on her to be the sole source of damage, you will struggle. All of her crowd control is tied to her skill shots. If your aim is off, your root or silence will miss, and the utility you promised your team vanishes in a puff of smoke. Tia's nature dictates that she shines brightest when she can be a secondary damage dealer and a secondary utility character. Look to pair her with a primary damage dealer who can utilize the root she provides, and a utility character who can ensure that she has the space to get off her 2 or 3 spell rotations. Next up, let's talk about the marksman role. The sniper of the festival, Katchcha, picking off targets from a safe distance. Katchcha is a long-range marksman pick for backline players this season. Pick her if you want an easy-to-play marksman who can attack from a distance that few other characters can match. She's all about safety and precision, letting you contribute massive damage while keeping your hands clean. She also packs a bit of utility for the entire team, making her more than just a simple damage cannon. Katchcha sits firmly on the easy end of mechanical spectrum, but closer to medium for game sense. Mechanically, it's about seamlessly weaving her Q ability in between basic attacks to maximize her damage output. It's quick and reliable. The higher skill ceiling comes from the ability to input buffer her E-dash. While this takes practice, mastering it lets you dodge massive enemy spells just before they hit, turning a sure death into a successful escape. Her macro in fights is simple but crucial. Abuse her range. Your core function as Katchcha is to simply hit whatever is immediately in front of you. As a traditional marksman, you want to play fights front to back, making sure to take down the enemy's front line before moving to their squishy. If she is left alone and able to free hit, her damage output is so high that she can single-handedly take down entire teams. You must use your E to reposition yourself over walls or away from incoming enemy threats, always hitting only when safe. If your team leans towards being divers and lacks good peelers for you, Katchcha is adaptable. You can use your ultimate and sniper skill to pressure damage onto the enemy backline from a safe distance, helping your divers finish off the job without putting yourself in unnecessary danger. Katchcha comes down to Pilot's ability to use her E-dash correctly. Her E-dash isn't bad, but it's not instantaneous either, having a slight cast time. While this cast time allows for that high skill input buffering to dodge CC, if you use it too early, or worse, if you use it and an enemy diver can simply follow your dash, you'll just blow up immediately after landing. Beyond damage, she provides great utility with her W, allowing you to take surveillance cameras in a zone without having to waste precious time standing on top of them. This ability also doubles up as a handy vision drone that can be sent out to check dangerous bushes, preventing you from ever face-checking danger. The best festival team-up, you'll want to pair Katchcha with a strong front line. Because she is a front-to-back character, you'll absolutely need a tank who can soak damage and create space for you. Look for a strong tank who can step up, absorb the incoming skill shots, and ensure you have the consistent safety to unleash your torrent of basic attacks. Next is the unsung hero of the festival, the character who makes sure the whole parade doesn't fall apart. Our support pick, Mai. She's a support tank hybrid who brings massive utility whether she's anchoring the front line or making clutch saves from the back. Mai is the vigilant festival guard. Pick her if you want a versatile character who can excel as both a frontliner and a peeler. She can do a lot of good for her team controlling the flow of the fight, either by forcing enemies to commit or by pulling an ally out of disaster. She is all about control and reliability. Mai is a deceptively difficult character to master. The biggest hurdle is her ultimate, which needs impeccable timing. A bad ultimate can easily disrupt a teammate's rhythm or, crucially, pull them out of a good position where they are safe and about to secure a kill. You must use your ultimate primarily to pull your teammate to safety, to prevent them from eating a big enemy cooldown. The difference between a game-changing save and a game-losing blunder is razor thin. Mai is a crowd control specialist. She wants to control the initiation, being tanky enough to stand fearlessly in front of her carries and soak damage while she patiently waits for an enemy to misplay. Once someone is out of position, that's your go button. Hit it by using your abilities to taunt and lock down the enemy. Best case scenario is that you can taunt the enemy toward your team rather than forward to the enemy team, ensuring that you aren't caught too deep and out of position. Mai is one of the few tank supports who is very strong in neutral, despite not having any poke abilities. This is because the very nature of her kit enables her teammates just by existing. The threat of her taunt and the threat of her pulling a teammate back to safety allows her non-poke damage characters to step up aggressively and start a fight rather than waiting passively for an opportunity. She allows her team to advance and pressure the enemy without committing, which is invaluable. One of the most challenging parts of Mai is her difficulty in solo queue environments. The difference between a Mai and a Mai with voice communication is night and day. Without comms, you'll likely find yourself ulting defensively over a defensive spell, like a dash or a shield that your carry was already using. This double up of a defensive cooldown can leave your carry vulnerable immediately after use, and can lead to them not trusting you to hit that life-saving ultimate. Mai is best utilized in structured team play, where you can clearly communicate when you are using your ultimate. For the best festival team-ups, pair Mai with a 2 specific type of character: an immobile carry who desperately needs her protective power, or a carry who wants to play very aggressive and needs a bailout option. She works perfectly with damage dealers who thrive when they are pushed to their limit. Moving on, we have Garnet. She's the rock of any team and this season's celebrated pack character, sporting a beautiful Matsuri skin. Pick Garnet if you want a simple tank who is easy to play and is excellent for absorbing and recovering from massive amounts of damage. With a straightforward kit, she is perfect for both new players and experienced players looking to off-roll on a tank. Garnet is one of the simplest tanks mechanically. She sits firmly in the easy tier. However, like all tanks, success requires a solid macro knowledge. Garnet excels at single target lockdown, capable of instantly punishing a target that steps out of line with her point and click stun and ultimate follow-up. Garnet can be effective in both dive compositions and peel compositions, as she fights equally well when diving forward or kiting backward. Whether you pair it with a diving character or a kiting one, your core job remains the same. Stay on top of your damage dealers, actively peeling enemies off of them so they can safely deal their damage. Garnet's greatest prize catch is her snap engages. Because her primary cow control is point and click, the second an enemy target is out of position, she can punish them immediately, without fear of missing a skill shot. Look to control the initiation by being the first to react to an enemy mistake, and then fighting to your strengths, which is sustained presence in the middle of a brawl. But because Garnet's dash is conditional, this means you cannot use it to escape from a dangerous situation. Once you are deep, and you are likely fighting your way out, not dashing to safety. A good Garnet player must learn to perfectly execute her powerful snap engages while picking the right time to use them so she doesn't accidentally enter a team by being stuck in the middle of a fight she can't win. For the best festival team-ups, pair Garnet with damage dealers who can follow up on her immediate lockdown. Specifically, pair her in pick compositions with characters who can capitalize on the stun, or with long-range engagers who can help her close the distance and confirm the kill on a target. Alright, now it's time for the bruiser role. These characters are the mid-ground brawlers who deal damage while being deceptively tanky. This season we have Kenneth, in my opinion one of the most fun bruisers to play as well. That's right, we have the brother-sister duo Garnet and Kenneth taking our tank and bruiser spots this season. Kenneth is a relatively easy character to learn on the micro side, as his abilities are straightforward. However, his skill ceiling is all about manipulation. His dash can be used mid-Q and mid-R, allowing you to redirect the angle of your engagement or catch opponents off guard entirely. The macro challenge for bruisers is surprisingly difficult. You're not tanky enough to run straight at opponents or just soak damage from them. You must constantly look for flanks and ways to enter the fight unexpectedly. This might sound crazy, but remember you are a damage dealer. You do have to do damage. It's not enough to just crowd control enemies. You may have to make sure you're at least getting your one. Kenneth is a ramp up character, meaning you need to get his passive stacks up during a fight. Because it takes a few hits for him to reach full power, you must commit to the fight when you enter. He is not a character where you want to dip in and out of, unless the fight immediately goes poorly. You need to trust his healing and shielding capabilities, and hopefully, use his E-dash effectively along the way to dodge some big enemy cooldowns. Kenneth's other tools consist of a shield on his W that you can use to block burst damage, and healing on his empowered Q. Notice that these defensive properties activate after they're already in a fight, not at the start. That's what clearly separates him as a bruiser from a true tank. He gets harder to deal with the longer the fight goes on, and is fantastic at cleaning up fights once the primary enemy threat has been eliminated. Kenneth has no tools for the neutral game, meaning he can lose the fight before it even begins if his health is chipped away. You must look to stay safe and avoid enemy poke spells if you find yourself in a poke heavy composition. Always keep your HP high and look for quick decisive engages to catch your opponents off guard. For the best festival team up, Kenneth pairs well with another diver. He absolutely loves double teaming a carry with another diving tank or bruiser, and he is even getting a festive Matsuri skin this season as well. There's nothing better than double teaming the backline with your sister. And finally, we have the honorable mention for season 9. the scholarly brawler Sua. Pick her if you want a battle mage fighter hybrid who can deal serious burst damage while sustaining herself with healing. She's an absolute handful to deal with in any fight. The key to Sua is using the right ability at the right time. This is especially true for her W ability. You must know when to use it to blind basic attackers or when to use it to CC immunity yourself to fight mages and tanks, as well as input buffering your E to block CC. Sua is an aggressive fighter. While she can fit into almost any comp, she fights best when moving forward. She has a great neutral game, boasting 2 highly effective poke abilities with Q and QR that can threaten even the enemy backline, allowing her to set up her own engages. Sua simply cannot be ignored in fights. If you land all your skill shots, you will decimate teams. Landing your E and getting onto a higher priority target is pure hell for backliners, as Sua is extremely sticky and hard to get off. Her passive enhances her basic attacks and resets her cooldowns, keeping the pressure consistent. While overwhelming, Sua must land everything to be effective. She is weak to basic attackers if she can't get into blind range, and her HP will vanish quickly if you blindly use her E to dive into backliners without securing your bookmark target first. Always ensure that you are in range to lock down your target and avoid burning all the mobility just to reach them. Sua does best with characters that also want to move forward and fight aggressively. She pairs well with characters like Theodora and Sylvia, who can enable her to reach the backliners while layering supportive damage and healing on top of her. 6 powerful characters ready to help you lay up the battlefield and dominate the Season 9 Matsuri. The perfect pick is out there waiting for you. Thanks so much for watching. If you're looking for coverage on everything new that came during this season, click or tap the screen now and you'll be taken to my video on everything new in Season 9.